Federal government sets up committee on national census with Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu as chairman.
Studies have shown that anticipatory action can reduce losses by up to 60%.
Nigeria adopts proactive flood strategy against disaster as federal government launches anticipatory action task force. Ministry of Justice, Development Partners harp on implementation of Administration of Criminal Justice Act in Nigeria. Welcome to the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The federal government has set up a committee on national census with Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu as the chairman. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, inaugurated the committee on behalf of President Tinubu. State House correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab reports.
More than and about 220 million have been the common safe way to put the national population in the absence of new reliable figures. That is the current escape route since the figure of the last headcount conducted in 2006 has outgrown its relevance. Yet, social and economic planning requires accurate statistics to steer general development.
There is no area of the Nigerian national development that can actually be propelled without having accurate data as to how many we are, where we are, and peculiar and different circumstances.
An attempt to conduct a new census was overtaken by a more pressing exigency to conduct the due general election in 2023. But then, the present administration has demonstrated commitment to this cause, with President Bola Tinubu meeting with the management of the National Population Commission on 2 occasions since 2023. Here is the latest statements.
On behalf of the President, I inaugurate this all-important committee.
And now, the administration does not only want the headcounts, but also with value addition.
We will have to look, amongst other things, into domestic and even international resourcing. This is one of the tasks before this committee. It has to be technologically driven. The President is particularly keen to make sure that technology is deployed for this exercise with biometric and digital enumeration.
While the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning chairs, his counterpart for Information and National Orientation is also a member of the 8-man committee.
I'm sure we'll find the wherewithal to make recommendations consistent with what our country is blessed with and what we can quickly mobilize additional to what we are blessed with. Many institutions can play a role, and we'll call upon them expeditiously.
The President says that before final decision is taken on the date and other modalities for the execution of this census, this committee will look at all the modalities to see what is it that government can do to ensure that this census takes place.
The committee is expected to turn in its report in 3 weeks. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
In a move for Nigeria to adopt proactive flood strategy to curb disaster, the federal government launched the Anticipatory Action Task Force this year, and now a workshop to strengthen coordinated risk monitoring and communication for flood has been held in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima declared the workshop open at the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor.
The National Hydrological Services Agency recently released the 19th Annual Flood Outlook in Nigeria.
Welcome to National.
This meeting brought together technical experts, policy actors, and international partners to finalize the framework that aims to change Nigeria's approach to climate-induced disasters through early warning systems and community-based preparedness.
Studies have shown that anticipatory action can reduce losses by up to 60%. That is not just a statistic, it is hope. It is the future of millions salvaged before rain. It is the logic behind this shift, championed by our administration under the reassuring leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The President has welcomed strong collaboration to drive this strategic pivot. This involves combining technical expertise, financial resources, and operational capacity from within government and with our development partners.
The workshop is more than a gathering. It is a reaffirmation of our commitment to advancing early warning systems and timely response mechanisms as vital instruments for safeguarding our most vulnerable populations from the devastating impact of disasters.
Through the Renewable Hope agenda, the Mr. President is leading a bold shift from reaction to prevention, from fragmentation to coordination, and from despair to dignity. His commitment to inclusive governance, poverty reduction places the poor, the displaced, the vulnerable at the heart of his own national priority and agenda.
The initiative aligns with global frameworks to mitigate the impact of natural disasters and protect vulnerable communities.
Today's gathering marks a continuation of that momentum. This workshop is designed to accelerate our journey towards a national early warning system that is integrated, inclusive, and anticipatory.
A few weeks away from the leading season, the raining season have already started, and we still have fresh in our memory what we have struggled with during past year flood.
It is expected that the traditional response of mobilizing relief after floods strike is no longer sustainable, and stakeholders must act now to protect lives and livelihoods by leveraging science, technology, and collaboration. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Beyond dissemination of information, the media must mobilize the public towards providing timely information for security agencies to facilitate proactive operations. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this in a message at a media stakeholders seminar organized by the Directorate of Defense Media Operations in Abuja.
Without doubt, is a worthy partner.
It's the 2025 First Quarter Media Stakeholders Seminar, focusing on key components of Joint Task Force Commanders' operational success. In attendance are top media executives, gatekeepers in the electronic, print and the online media platforms, as well as members of the civil society.
Strengthening the partnership between the military and the media is essential not only for operational success, but also for building public trust and fostering a national security conscious citizenry. In a battle where propaganda is as lethal as the bullet, and even sometimes much more lethal than the bullet.
Information remains a powerful tool in modern warfare, and its effective management determines to a large extent the success of Joint Task Force operations.
The way our operations are perceived by the local populace and international audiences determines their effectiveness. While media operations offer immense strategic benefits, they also present significant challenges.
The goal is to foster collaboration with the armed forces with a view to enhance the renewed drive to secure the nation.
The issue of access to information has remained central. Sometimes something happens and then the media is in a rush to get accurate information, but then that is not forthcoming. So that also has to be worked on by the military.
There is need for synergy between the media and the armed forces. It will help to bridge the gap, the mistrust and the misunderstanding that have existed.
This will deepen synergy and partnership between security agencies and the media landscape.
The Media Stakeholders Forum is also a critical component of non-kinetic approach towards securing the nation. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Security experts on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria recommend that state governments in the north-central region of Nigeria focus on enhancing border infrastructure, increasing police funding, and establishing effective security committees to address security issues in the region. Ekemini Williams has details.
A recent attack by gunmen in Plateau State's Bassa local government area, which claimed many lives, has raised concerns about security challenges in north-central Nigeria. Security experts attribute the crisis to factors like weaponization of religion, identity crisis, distrust, poor land governance, and proliferation of small arms.
It's the elephant in the room as far as I'm concerned. Poor land governance policy. Till date, and even as we're discussing, the land governance policy is not advocating harmony. It is not inclusive, it is not equitable, it is not effective. Land titling has not been done in spite of the constant statement coming from officials that it is about land grabbing.
Most of the time when government and non-governmental organizations respond to this situation, and then the situation calms down, unfortunately, efforts are not sustained over time to continue to engage with the issues, to continue to engage with the parties involved.
To restore lasting peace, security experts argue that ad hoc committees are insufficient. Instead, they recommend establishing a permanent peace-building mechanism in the state, alongside other comprehensive approaches to address the root causes of the conflict and promote sustainable peace.
You come, oh, the governor makes beautiful speech. That cannot solve the problem. How do you have effective coordination of intelligence? How do you have effective early warning and response system? When you don't have local government areas having security committee meetings taking place, state security committees not taking place.
So there are white papers that actually domiciled implementation of some of these solutions to the government. Until now, they have not been implemented. Not one single one. Setting up ad hoc operations here and there will not solve the problem. We need to have an enduring peace-building programs for the communities.
And I think I will also suggest that the governor should revisit one of his recent initiatives of establishing what they call Plateau State Interreligious Advisory Council. The governor should ensure that that council is truly inclusive enough to have representation of all the interested and affected parties in this situation on the plateau.
The discussants emphasized that state governments must demonstrate genuine commitments to restoring peace in the region, highlighting the crucial role sincerity plays in effective peace-building initiatives. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
This is the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We'll take a break now. When we return, more news.
Baffy Furniture Easter Sales is on. Enjoy unbeatable furniture deals with up to 50% off on our luxurious Turkish sofas starting from just 2.8 million naira. Get a smart bed for only 7 million naira plus 25% off our luxury collections. That's not all. Enjoy free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Enugu, and Kano. Visit any of our showrooms or shop online to take advantage of these incredible offers.
Thanks for staying. A coalition of civil society organizations has applauded the Independent National Electoral Commission for the credible conduct of the recent delineation of wards and polling units in the Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State. The coalition's coordinator, Dr. Nwambo Gabriel, at a media briefing in Abuja said the exercise carried out under the supervision of INEC marked a significant step in strengthening democratic integrity and electoral fairness in Nigeria. The constituency, which comprises Warri South, Warri West, and Warri Southwest local government areas, recently underwent a reconfiguration exercise following a Supreme Court ruling which reaffirmed the importance of due process and the rule of law in the nation's democracy.
Each constituency is fairly represented. The involvement of all stakeholders, including traditional rulers and community leaders, showcased INEC's commitment to engaging with the communities it serves.
The coalition also raised peaceful demonstrations by Ijaw communities in support of INEC's efforts, describing them as a reflection of widespread public endorsement and a collective stand against political marginalization. The Federal Ministry of Justice and Development partners are pushing for an effective and efficient justice delivery system in Nigeria. To this end, stakeholders in justice sector are undergoing sensitization on the national minimum standards for the implementation of Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyibe reports.
The national minimum standards has been developed to implement the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and also to consolidate collaboration between stakeholders in the justice delivery. This is by ensuring that courts at both the federal and state levels apply similar standards in criminal procedures and enforcement of criminal justice. This becomes imperative because there were challenges associated with the implementation of the administration of the Criminal Justice Act since it was enacted in 2015.
What the National Minimum Standard document has done is that it has extracted the most basic, the most important provisions of the ACJA, ACJA, and the ACGLs of the various states, and then put them together in this document.
The sensitization of the stakeholders in justice delivery, including the police, civil defense, the correctional service, among others, convened by the Center for Socio-Legal Studies and the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, is to deepen their understanding of the national minimum standards.
We'll give opportunity to all the states, all the criminal justice sector stakeholders in all the states to apply uniform and standardized law with respect to treating offenders, hearing criminal cases, and people won't have a reason to forum shop because all the applications is going to be standardized.
The national minimum standards focus on issues under pre-trial hearing, witness support unit, timelines of prosecution, bail, sanction for non-compliance, remand protocol, arraignment, trial in absentia, transfer or trial judge, plea bargain, case tracking, among others. The overall idea is to have a justice system that is transparent. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
President Bola Tinubu has directed the contractor handling the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to take up the construction of 20 kilometers of the Calabar to Federal Highway, which has been deplorable for years. This was disclosed at the flag-off of the 65-kilometer Akwa Ibom segment of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway in Nsut Atai local government area of Akwa Ibom State. Danny May Uko reports.
The 65-kilometer three-lane dual carriageway is the Section 3A and 3B of the Lagos-Calabar 750-kilometer coastal highway. The project is designed with reinforced concrete pavement and is expected to be completed within 36 months. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Governor Umoino of Akwa Ibom State, expects the project to boost regional integration.
I want to thank the President for approving and embarking on this bold and audacious project that is bound to unleash and expand our economic horizon and open up hitherto unreachable parts of our nation for easy movement of goods and services.
Minister of Works David Umahi appeals for cooperation with the contractor to deliver on schedule, while announcing federal government's latest decision on the Calabar-Itu highway.
The governor has complained about the construction of the Itu, Calabar Road. We've drafted high-tech to take off 20 kilometers of the road and reconstruct on concrete pavement.
This project is 65 kilometers. Currently we are standing on kilometer 10. So the project duration is about 36 months as awarded. We will plan to finish it earlier than 6 months.
The government and people of Akwa Ibom State are happy with President Tinubu-led administration for the projects and promise to cooperate with the contractor to deliver according to specifications. Dianime Uko, NTA News.
The Kogi State government has set a target of generating 1 billion naira in revenue from signage and advertisement by 2026 as part of its broader strategy to boost the state's internally generated revenue and reduce dependence on federal allocations. This was disclosed by the State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Femi Fanwo, during a management meeting with heads of agencies under the ministry in Lokoja. Fanwo described the appointment of Richard Osai as the General Manager of the Kogi State Signage and Advertising Agency as a masterstroke, noting that it would reposition the agency for greater efficiency and impact. He said, Kogi has no business depending solely on federal allocations if the state is able to harness internal revenue opportunities effectively. Signage and advertisement can generate over 1 billion naira for the state by 2026, he said. General Manager of the Kogi State Signage and Advertising Agency outlined strategies already being implemented to reposition the agency and boost revenue, where he revealed that many large corporate advertisers in the state had been underpaying in the past, but that the agency is now engaging with them diplomatically to correct the imbalance. Meanwhile, the Commissioner, Fanwo, inaugurated a ministerial committee to begin work on the launch of Project Confluence of Opportunities, an initiative aimed at projecting Kogi's vast economic and tourism potential to boost local and global investors. Exchange rate convergence and stability, high interest rates, environment, insecurity and social discontent are some of the work in progress under the Nigeria's current economic outlook, highlighted by the Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms, Professor Taiwo Oyedele. He said this at an interactive session at the second day of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations' second Nigeria Spokesperson Summit. Haman Jabani reports.
The session with the theme, Nigeria's current economic outlook and tax reforms, shows the current tax system is affected by inefficiency and low compliance rate. These factors hindered revenue generation and economic growth and seek to simplify tax regime, reducing the burden on businesses and individuals, as well as enhance transparency. In his presentation, Professor Taiwo Oyedele says the tax reforms will streamline taxes and eliminate nuisance levies, create a more investor-friendly environment while increasing government revenue without stifling economic activities, digitize tax collection processes to minimize leakages and corruption. These measures are expected to improve ease of doing business and attract both local and foreign investment, fostering economic diversification and job creation.
Low-income earners being exempted from taxes, basic consumption like food, education, health, not carrying VAT anymore, small businesses being given 0% CIT, corporate income tax, and their employees not having to pay PAYE.
It's the way to go, but it has to be effectively communicated. And that's why NIPR and its partners in the communication ecosystem said that we are going to work with them to develop a tax communication framework.
Some participants who shared their experiences say inefficiencies in implementation, multiple taxation and law compliance rate, mismanagement, as well as lack of visible benefits from tax revenues are among other concerns.
A lot of misinformation tend to be bandied on Borno State and on our leaders, for example. This code will help us to balance the narrative on Borno State.
The women today are earning revenue. The women today are supporting the men, even in the homes, even in the offices.
They say if executed well, these reforms could mark a turning point for Nigeria's economy, boost revenue, reduce poverty, and stimulate growth. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
The attention of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, has been drawn to a case of 6 Nigerian tourists who traveled from Senegal to Cape Verde Island on a vacation and are accused of lack of funds, thereby locked up in an immigration deportation camp at the airport. Chairman NITCOM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has appealed to the immigration authorities in Cape Verde to board the tourist on the next available return flight to Dakar for onward connection back to Nigeria. The statement, signed by Director Media, Public Relations and Protocol of the Commission, Abdurrahman Balogun, indicates that the families of these young Nigerians, ranging between 25 and 31 years, have been expectedly worried about the safety of their children. It further states that the matter has also been reported to the Consular and Migration Directorate in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inamiti.